owners, management, staff, clients, or partners. Medical House presents Bermuda's most viewed and listened to talk show. The Daily Hour starts now.
It's Thursday, the first day of October. Welcome to the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman along with Carla Zool and Sherry Lynn Pringle. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine. If you haven't already, you know what to do. Share the link, start a watch party, get this conversation out there to your network. We are now available across social media on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, as well as Channel 82 if you have one. Well, today, Bermudians are going to the polls. The polls opened as this show started. What they say, D-Day. Well, we're going to have our regular format today. We're going to talk about that. But I'm also going to address the Premier of Bermuda's Facebook post and what I deem the most corrupt organization that I have worked for, the Bermuda Tourism Authority. The Daily Play is going to be a name that place, so it'll probably be about we're going to be naming a polling station or something. Sure.
From 1937, but anyway.
Well, you know, I asked that because it's like even last night I'm seeing people say, "Well, what's my polling station? What's my polling station?" I'm like, okay, we don't know that yet. All right, we might be in trouble. But I think my old polling station used to be Victor Scott before they kicked me off the list. Right?
Still salty about that.
It's not going away. It's not going away, okay?
Carla, have you checked to see if you're still registered?
Not since when I did it a few weeks ago. It makes no sense me torturing myself, but I know that I will be punished for your action. So I totally expect to be expunged any minute.
But I think you should check just to see if, you know, anything that's happened on this show has impacted the way that, you know, whether or not you're on there.
Jamal, at this point, what can I do? I'm not flying home today, so whatever.
If there's any fight that we will continue after the election so that it doesn't come back up again, is we will go for online voting and also absentee ballots, and to allow you, Jamal, in particular. We'll call it Jamal's law, and we'll make sure that you can get added back to the rules by just because you're Bermudian.
I appreciate that, and I hope everyone else gets behind that effort, because I would really like to take part in what's it called, my democratic right?
Right.
Yeah, I'd really like to take part in the democratic process, because I deserve a vote as a Bermudian, and whatever other excuses you give me to get involved, you know. But
it's pretty sad, Jamal, because you are in a year where there are two major elections and you can't vote in either one.
Either one, right?
That's sad.
Almost like I'm stateless. Like I have these privileges to live in various jurisdictions, but I don't have the privileges to vote in any of them.
Why do I feel like singing "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina"? We need Carla. I just feel like all of a sudden.
I was going to say, poor Tink Tink.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
Listen, is there any room for one Whitney Houston in this mix? And you're not her, okay?
I just felt like that was on my heart.
My ears. Okay, so I've accepted the fact. I had no other thing, you know. I mean, what else was I going to do? That they removed me from the registrar. I can't take part in the voting process, and so all I can do is talk about it. And I'm sure you all, you know, enjoy me talking about politics, right? So that's my gift to the democratic process this morning. Don't forget, tonight we will be joined by Nakisha Cameron, Teo Dill, Roger Denbrook, as well as us three and Jackie. We'll be bringing you live coverage of the results as they come in. We'll be engaging with you. I want to see how the audience reacts because I'm expecting a few shocks. I really am expecting a few shocks. So I'm looking forward to engaging with you as those results come in tonight. We will be on channel 82. We will not be on the Twitter page of the Daily Hour. We will be on the Twitter page of the Full 100 Radio. So if you don't follow that already, go follow the Full 100 Radio. We will be on the Daily Hour's Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. We'll be on the Full 100 Radio. What's its page? The YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Yeah, I think I got it. And the website. So you can't miss us tonight. I can't help what Sherry and Carla say that may offend you tonight, or even Teo, because his reputation precedes him too. So what I will do is say I will be on my best behavior as we discuss the results as they come in. I know no other way, folks. I know no other way, right? But I want to, if you haven't already, folks, go to the premiere. It's a public post. David Burt's post from this morning. It was the early hours of this morning where he spoke of why he took Cotmatch into his own hands away from the Bermuda Tourism Authority. I already stated the Bermuda Tourism Authority is the most corrupt organization I've ever worked with. And let me state, I'll read what David Burt, the premier, actually said, right? Just so you have an idea. So it's not just me. It's a long post, so bear with me. The premier writes, well, I can't get that out of my way. Let's try this again. Okay. The premier writes, in the election day issue of the Royal Gazette, I am expecting an October surprise. I am unsure what the story will entail or what angle Sam Strangeways will take, but given the penchant of the RG for not printing my statements in their entirety, I am posting it in full on Facebook for all to read. But before I do that, I will offer a little context. Everyone knows how much I love Cotmatch and how every year I invite family and friends to what I view as the best holiday celebration on the planet. I'm sure many would agree with you. When elected, I was determined to ensure that this unique cultural experience, the celebration of the abolition of slavery, was shared with the world to further develop it as a cultural tourism event. And the government tasked the BTA to deliver. The response from the former CEO of the BTA was, quote, "We don't know how to sell Cotmatch," end quote. That may seem surprising to read, but my view is you cannot sell what you don't understand. Now, let me stop right there before I go further into the Honorable Premier's comments. Let me reread before I go. Let me reread that. Quote, "We don't know how to sell Cotmatch," end quote. This is a white Bermudian guy that pretty much was given a CEO job that he likely was not qualified to do. Let's be honest. When you look at what the JD looked for and what his background and everything, he did not meet the requirements for that job. So this should be a surprise to no one that this was the response from that then CEO to the premier. But let me go back a few years when the first CEO of the BTA was there. Well, let me take it back a bit because we discussed this a bit with Dr. Brown a couple weeks ago, right, last week. With Dr. Brown, we spoke of, again, the corruptness of the BTA. In 2007, MP Zandy Silva beat David Dudwell. The Bermudian people got rid of David Dudwell as an MP. David Dudwell, in 2012, was given the reins to the BTA as the chairman. How do the people reject you and then politically you're appointed. And the whole argument and premise you go with is the BTA is non-political. But yet, a former tourism minister, a man that what the Bermudian people voted out, is the chairman for that organization. You go on to hire a person outside of Bermuda, and you bring this person in. When this person comes in, you have young Black Bermudians. Now, keep this. The Bermuda Tourism Authority always promoted and spoke of this fact that, 90% or 80%, or they gave this high percentage of staff were Black Bermudian or Bermudian. But what they failed to mention is how many of them were in decision-making positions. Many of them were pretty much lower-level employees. Not one of those top positions, not one, was a everyday Bermudian. So in one of those meetings, after Bill Henbury brought in his sales and marketing lady, one of the staff says, why don't we put more effort into promoting cotton match? And this lady responded by taking her marker, my friends, and basically drawing a mountain and saying, basically, top of the mountain, this is why there's no need to market during that time of year because tourism is already high. I said, that's BS. Within a year, stick with me now, stick with me. Within a year, the BTA got behind 2 initiatives that happened 1 month before Cotton Match. Any guess what they are? They were the America's Cup and Bermuda Carnival, both in June. So do not tell me that you didn't want to promote Cotton Match because tourism was already doing well during that time when you put millions and millions of dollars behind the boat race and the carnival. I'm a big fan of the carnival, but I've said from jump, we should only support carnival if it's going to take place during a time we need visitors. March, April. Made total sense. But I just find it interesting how the Bermuda Tourism Authority lacked the interest to do anything with Cotton Match. So regardless of what the Royal, and then come to find out, the Royal Gazette may have asked, how was this measured? Well, let me go back to my claims about the BTA being corrupt. Because these media outlets celebrate the success, but I don't think enough's done. I ask a lot of questions, right? Charles Jeffers asked, were hotels operating at 100% at the time? We don't ask enough questions. The BTA has been a failed experiment. So the premier, in his response today, has my full support and should have every Bermudian's full support when it comes to what he did for Bermuda's biggest cultural event. Because at no point should a CEO of the main marketing organization of a country say they don't know how to market the biggest and most cultural event that Bermuda has. Wouldn't say that about sailing or golf or whatever else events they do. So I think Carla's waiting backstage.
I felt like I was in church just now, brother.
No. I don't preach. Yeah. We've got a lot more to talk about, but I just had to get this off my chest. And speaking of the sports, who's the sports director of sport at BTA? Let's talk about that a bit. At the BTA, again, it's the most corrupt organization I've worked for. What really puzzles me about what I read from David Burt, the premier of Bermuda, is why are those people still in place at the BTA? The people that are around the CEO. That's my challenge to the premier of Bermuda. Wipe the floor with them. Why are they still there? Because if you look, let me tell you what the BTA did. And I'm not going to talk about myself because you can Google what they did to me. But the reason you get rid of salespeople is because sales is the only thing you can truly measure. The BTA has sold a river of lies in terms of their marketing impact. What they've told people, oh, well, we got this amount of social media hits, that amount of social media hits, da da da. Social media hits don't equate to visiting people. They don't equate to dollars coming into the economy. Remember what Craig Simmons said last week, The Economist. All Bermuda really needs is one visitor that spends 5 million or 500 million. See, they use these numbers. When numbers are down, they talk about spend being up. When spend's down, they talk about numbers being up. I tell you this, folks, and I said this when I was at the BTA. Instead of being political and selling people on numbers that you want them to believe, sell the people on feeling like a difference is being made. So you don't have to say anything. That's how I feel about politics. Politicians should not have to tell you what they've done for you. As the analogy I gave to Carla, she shouldn't have to tell her children, I feed you and give you a roof over your head. We should feel it. The BTA has been a failed experience, and my hope is that that board that did not hold them accountable is washed away, and we see some young, energetic Bermudians with vision, creativity fill that board, and the changes begin to happen. My concern is that the BTA has dug us in such a hole that it's going to be a greater challenge to get us out of that. On that note, we have to go to the news, but we're not done. We're not done. We're not done. We're not done. And let me tell you, the BTA like to do stuff. That when you start telling the truth, they like to try to silence you, folks. They like to do that. Remember what I think it was the former finance minister tried to do, Jason Hayward? They try to silence you. It can't happen when you're messing with the taxpayers' money. We need to demand more, ask more questions. And if you haven't read, I'll finish reading the premier's post in a few, but we have to go to the news with Carla. I'm sure she has some things to report and inform us of.
The Bermuda Police Service has identified the victim in the fatal shooting incident which occurred in the early hours of Tuesday as 31-year-old Garina Can. Ms. Can succumbed to injuries sustained after being shot multiple times at around 12:30 a.m. on Tuesday following an event at her Sunset Lane, Pembroke residence. Anyone with information on this matter is asked to call the main police number at 295-0011 or the confidential Crime Stoppers hotline on 800-8477. Police are particularly interested in speaking with anyone who may have seen a male approximately 5 feet 7 inches tall, wearing dark clothing and riding a black and yellow motorcycle in the Sunset Drive, Pembroke area between the hours of 12 midnight and 12:30 a.m. on Tuesday. Earlier in the day, Police Commissioner Stephen Corbishley described Ms. Can's murder as an execution and said the incident marked an all-time low. Bermuda will get guaranteed access to COVID-19 vaccines when they become available, the Minister of Health revealed recently. Kim Wilson said that the Pan American Health Organization was working with Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, an international organization tasked with improving access to vaccines and sourcing COVID-19 vaccines for PAHO countries. She added, the collaboration provides Bermuda with access to vaccines to support 20% of our population in the first instance and additional access if and when required. In his first interview since Tuesday's insult-laden U.S. debate, Chris Wallace told the New York Times yesterday that he never dreamt it would go off the track the way that it did. Generally speaking, I did as well as I could, so I don't have any second thoughts there, Wallace said. I'm just disappointed with the results. For me, but much more importantly, I'm disappointed for the country because it could have been a much more useful evening than it turned out to be. Wallace, who also moderated the final 2016 presidential debate between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, added, I'm a pro. I never thought anything like this would happen. That story was courtesy of USA Today. Meanwhile, Metro News reporting the father of England's Prime Minister was caught shopping without a face mask a week after the Prime Minister hit out at brazen rule breakers and doubled fines. Stanley Johnson said he was extremely sorry for the slip up and admitted he had lost track of the current rules after spending 3 weeks abroad. The former politician turned celebrity was pictured perusing the shelves at a newsagent's in West London on Tuesday, seemingly breaking the rules by not covering his mouth and nose. Face coverings have been compulsory in shops and public transportation in England since July 24th. October 1st denotes the beginning of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, where charities around the world increase awareness of the disease and raise funds for research into its cause, prevention, diagnosis, treatment, and cure. The campaign also offers information and support for those affected by breast cancer. Breast Cancer Awareness Month is a yearly campaign that intends to educate people about the importance of early screening, testing, and more. Turning to weather, Bermuda's high today will be 82, is expected to be 72 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and 55 in Leeds, UK. And just a reminder that we will have live coverage tonight starting at 8 p.m. in Bermuda. We will be live on all social media platforms and on Channel 82 if you're on One Communications. And that's full election coverage. And don't forget to turn into the full100radio.com tonight for nighttime jams featuring some of your favorite romantic classics. That's your Daily Hour news break.
Alrighty. I'm just reading the comments on the story on the RG with David Burt. We're going to go take a quick break and we'll get back to the whole thing, because it's one of the thing in the story by Sam Strangeways was the contract was given to a Mosaic based in Irving, Texas, without a tender. I don't think you quite want to attack the PLP on a contract that didn't go out to tender. And that airport, and I'm not, you know me, I don't like well, he did it, she did it, but I'm just like, come on, folks.
The airport
is horrible. Any Bermudian that tells me different is being fed by the money. Now, and then it says, the story also says, it talks about the monies that were used were left over from the America's Cup, talking about the America's Cup was under budget, blah, 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 blah. You can go on RG, but you can also see David Burt's full response in there as well. I think what really, really stands out to me about this entire situation is the fact that we're actually, it seems like more of an investigation as to how the premier got involved with this rather than the overall operations of the BTA. I think there's one reporter, in my opinion, that's done a very good job on the BTA, and that's Tarai Truck. But anyway, let's take a quick break, go pay some bills, and we will be back after this.
Good day, Medical House Doris speaking. Can I help you?
Medical House is Bermuda's leading one-stop shop for healthcare. Bermuda's top doctors, dentists, care homes, and the hospital choose Medical House for a wide range of products.
Anything that we ask them to do, they come through.
These same professional quality products are available to you for home healthcare.
If we can use them, we definitely do so.
Medical House is best known for its uniforms and footwear. It also has restaurant uniforms that stand up to even the toughest shifts. If you're on your feet all day, Medical House has comfortable and stylish shoes that are also durable and easy to clean. Everyone needs some help cleaning up, and Medical House has got it. Leading-edge janitorial, facility, and maintenance supplies are all here. Medical House is on Millreach Lane in Pembroke, where there's private parking right outside the door. Call or visit Medical House today.
We're welcoming the return of a popular feature this month, Bragg Live Food Products. Paul Bragg was the man behind the products, and during his lifetime originated health food stores and promoted nutrition education throughout the media, helping us make healthful choices when we shop for and prepare food. Best known for his live cider vinegar, Bragg also brings us a variety of super nutritious and flavorful foods and condiments. Try Bragg Organic Sea Kelp Delight Seasoning, Herb and Spice Sprinkle, and Raw Unfiltered Apple Cider Vinegar. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
All righty, welcome back, Linda's Medical House. Thank you so much for getting behind us, making sure that we're, that we're able to do this every morning with all of these wonderful people out here. Don't forget, folks. Let me just bring it up because because I don't, and no one has any excuses. No, we're not accepting excuses today, right? So this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen tonight at 8 p.m. We're going to be live. Special thanks to Teo Dill, Nikisha Cameron, Roger Denbrook, who will be joining us to offer their political insight as well. Big thank you to Channel 82, Crimson Multimedia, North Shore Medical and Aesthetics, One Communications, Bermuda College, and the Marketplace for getting behind us so that we can bring you this coverage. I just want to be very clear. What's happening tonight is we will be sharing, we'll be engaging with you as results come in. So that's the purpose of our election night coverage, to engage with you, the audience, as the results come in. We'll do our best to try to get some of the candidates on with us to, communicate and engage with the audience as well. At the end of the day, it's an election. We don't know how today may turn out. We legit have no idea how. Well, some people have hunches, but well, I'm just okay. On that note, Carla, did you find out where Dr. Seaman's victory party is going to be?
Well, why would I know that?
I mean, you predicted she'll win. I just figured you might hit her up and said, "Hey, where's the victory party?"
I don't like you some days.
Yeah, that's most people most days. So,
I just know for one thing that we won't see Russian interference.
No Russian interference. probably a little Daily Hour interference. You know how it is. People will say, "Oh, that were the Daily Hour team telling people not to do this or to do that," or you know how we get in trouble. Well, I get in trouble. But
I wish we had a coffee sponsor.
Yeah, got to keep people awake. Well, here's the crazy thing. Before we get into the election chat, I promised myself I usually go to bed by 10. I promised myself I was going to go to bed by 10, and then the NBA Finals began last night, and I kept trying to go to sleep, but it was just too intriguing. I was too interested, so I ended up staying up late watching the Lakers beat up on my South Florida Miami Heat, and I probably got about 3 or 4 hours rest. So I don't know. I might. Any supplements I can take to stay up tonight, folks? And no, I'm not a coffee drinker. I don't.
Well, I'm gonna try to go to bed at 8 p.m. so I could be up by 11, so I can stay up till 5, and then be up for school for 7. So, and then the show. So, coffee.
Some people can go sleep. I tell you. Doesn't quite work with our schedules. But look, don't forget, again, tonight you can find us. The show is going to be live on the Daily Hour platforms, Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. We'll be available on the Full 100 Radio Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Like I said, we won't be on the Daily Hours Twitter handle. We'll be on the Full 100 Twitter handle. So you can go now, follow the Full 100 if Twitter is your way of watching. Don't forget, we will be on Channel 82. But if you want to engage with us while watching Channel 82, you can just come online and engage with us. Both YouTube stations, both websites. All right. So that said, folks, I'm going to ask you first, Sherry. Your constituency 7, right?
Yes.
What is your overall prediction of what you think the numbers are going to look like by the end of the night?
I feel that
before you start, I just want to honestly say your haircut is beautiful. Honestly, it is beautiful. I hope that's appropriate, but it's really, really a very nice cut. You look very nice.
It's stunning.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you, Jamal. It is also I think today is National Hair Day. It starts on October 1st. And I also want to segue in to let you know that this is the best month of the year. Okay? It's Libra month. It's the true Libra month. I just want to let you guys know. You have 15 days to get my present ready, okay? Thank you.
I don't forget by then. Okay.
I don't know. I think that the FDM and the OBA may pull votes from the PLP, but I feel that the PLP will probably get this constituency.
You're in 7, right?
In 7, which is Anthony Richardson, Robin Tucker, and Cheryl Packwood, is for the FDM. I believe both these newcomers will get some votes, but I still believe that Anthony Richardson has put in the work over the years. Even once he lost to Sylvan Richardson, he stayed involved with the community, and so he's a known factor. So I really think that Anthony will win. I like them all, and I'm friends with all of them. Anthony is my alum from Work Academy. We graduated class of 80, and so
She loves that place, boy.
but I think he'll take 7.
So you think he'll take 7? Well, I'm going to make a prediction. My former constituency before I was kicked out, I predict that Michael Weeks will be an MP after. Oh, hold on, he already.
I'm like, really?
See, I'm already right. Carla, my hunch was right. Michael Weeks, my MP, he's in.
Hey, I tell you all, and you all can laugh and all that. I'm so intrigued with Somerset. I think Tiana Solters is going to give Mr. Lister a run for his money. I think that may be an upset people may not see coming, at least a chump on the nails.
I think that would be a bigger political upset than with Chris Famous beating Val Bridges. And the reason I say that is because if my memory serves me correctly, that's constituency number 30.
Is it 4 or 3?
It's 30.
Maybe in the 3.
35? Is it? No.
5. It's 5.
35?
Because it was marked in her, right. I think it's 35.
Okay, so
I don't have it in front of me.
Let's see.
It's 35. Sanders North Central.
Okay, and in 35, it looks like in 2017, Dennis Lister got 644 votes and Michael Swan 261. So that would be a huge turnaround.
So one of the only few constituencies that have four people running, right? So it's going to be turnout's going to be important.
And that one, I don't think, is it 4? I don't have the paper in front of me.
They have an FDM and they also have an independent, Norris Brangman, running.
Yes.
So, so turnout is going to be important, but also, again, people taking votes from Lister maybe. So it could be.
I mean, I'm looking at it from an age perspective. And I think, and I said this before and I'll say it again, Tiana for years has put in work in that community with no condition, no buttering up anybody for anything. She and her organization, or the organization she's a part of, has done a lot. And I think the youth will come out in droves and support her. And maybe, just maybe, they may feel, I think Dennis Lister is a wonderful man, but maybe people may think it's now his time to relax. I'm keeping my eye on that one.
I think Carla makes some very interesting predictions. I'll say that much. But
I do. But
see young energy like hers representing the people. The numbers are not in her favor, but one of the things that, as I started off with, is we really don't know. Elections, anything can happen. We must keep that in mind. Anything can happen. I mean, Nundy freaking Otterbridge was voted in by 4 votes because Kim Swan took a lot of votes away, and because
Renee entered so late.
Yeah, John Gibbons was replaced by Renee Ming pretty much almost within a month, if not less, before that election. So, I mean, so many factors come at play. We look at what happened with the sister from the FDM who recently resigned, right? So you don't know how that could impact that seat. You know, many people may have seen, because that was in a seat that the PLP may feel they have a chance. With the FDM option now gone, are they still confident that they have a chance, right? It's an election. Anything can happen. I really feel that. Let's do real quickly. I did see, before we move on, happy 21st birthday to not my daughter, to Miss Pitt's daughter, Jakira. Happy New Year to you, my friend. Hope you have a wonderful day.
Wishing you many more.
Absolutely.
So Jamal, not to think, but what do you think about 30? Southampton East with Leah Scott and the newcomer with Mr. Wade.
So why you didn't ask me?
Oh, well, and we should take a moment to extend condolences to Miss Scott for the loss of her.
She lost her mom.
Leah Scott and her family on the loss of her mom. I think it's the PLP's seat to lose. I think that is the PLP's seat to lose. I do think that the PLP have a great chance of, like I said, I see them losing 4 seats, and I went over those 4 seats the other day. I see them losing 36. I see them losing 28. I see them losing 25, and it was one more. But I do see them gaining the one that Jason Wade and Leah Scott, 30. I do think they have a chance at 31 with Crystal Caesar. So I think it'll be balanced out. Look, I make it clear how I feel politically. My opinion really should not matter on how people, decide to go and vote. I share from my experience and based on what I see, and so someone asked me this morning who would I vote for, and I'm just grateful that this may sound really messed up. I'm not in a position where I have to.
It's difficult.
I'm not in a position where I have to. At the end of the day, and I stated it yesterday, I'm going to state it probably 10 times over during this show and tonight, is regardless of who's our government at the end of tonight, one of the things that we need to do as Bermudians and people who love Bermuda is we need to take more responsibility for what we do and rely less on government, but we need to hold government accountable like daily, not just when an election comes around. I will, keep in touch with Bermemes. I'll keep in touch with Bermuda Youth Connect because, within the next 3 or 5 years, we should be at a place where debate's happening. And these, those young people are going to be a bit older. So some of them may want to be actually constituents and be running. So they'll develop over the years. We need to make sure that we're holding events where we're holding people accountable, as I stated the other day, ministers and shadow ministers. Reports like this that are coming out today, obviously politicking by the Royal Gazette with the tourism thing. That's not something that we should find out on a day like this. That's something that, a petty request, the public should be aware of. We should be asking questions daily. So my hope and what we do on this show on a daily basis is we're here to solve problems and talk about problems and discuss problems and just make our community a better place. So regardless of what happens tonight, and I think everyone's predicting a PLP victory. I think the PLP will win the necessary seats to even avoid a coalition unless one of their people becomes a traitor and crosses the floor. But I do have them losing for gaining at least 2.
So I have a question. One thing we haven't addressed with Mrs. Thomas Palacio resigning, we're not going to discuss that, but do you think that will have an impact on people who would have supported the FDM? Not people who voted early, but do you think that it could have changed the view of the FDM? What do you guys think?
What do you think, Carl?
Wait to throw it back. Bam.
No, you obviously are interested in it. So what do you think about it?
No, I am. Well, I asked my daughter because she could vote, and she was like, "Nah, it makes me feel that something's going on that I don't know if I would want that party to lead the country or have a great voice in the country at this time." It does make you wonder, but I think as a whole, yes, but I still think for certain people, no. Certain individuals within the party, no.
I don't think it'll matter. I mean, no, it won't matter. I don't think it will because number one, we don't know the reason that she dropped out. People have been very nasty on the blogs and writing on the news stories, but we don't know the reason. I don't believe it has anything to do with the FDM and her relationship. Based on what I took away from Mark Bean, it's pretty much some personal things that may be going on. He didn't say that. That's what I'm taking away from it. So it wouldn't have an impact on me. What I think, and I want to touch on Mark Bean's comments from the forum the other night, if I may, when he said that him entering had neutralized the racial argument, and people took it and ran and basically like, oh, he's saying he stopped racism. That's not what he meant. I think people are so silly. What he's saying is that you have not heard the PLP use race as their argument in this election since he's entered. And that's what I said. Removes that racial argument, right? I think, and I said it from jump when they started. I have not had a conversation with Mark Bean or anybody in the FDM since they've been announced. But I do believe that the FDM creates a good problem for the Bermudian electorate. It creates a very good problem. I think Dr. Brown even agreed. This is the democracy that we want, folks. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, Carla had asked about Rolf Commission, right? About that constituency?
No, she asked about Kay Thomas dropping out.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, bugging.
Help or hinder.
I could have sworn I heard you say Commission. But one thing I wanted to add is go on to something else. I just totally lost my thought. That's a senior moment.
Talent Clark says 24-12, 23-13. So Talent's ruling out an independent FDM. I don't think the PLP are going to have as many. I think they'll be between 20 and 22. I think they'll lose 4, gain 2. That's my prediction. I don't think it'll be less than 22 seats. I can see them because right now they have 25. I'm pretty sure 25 is going. 27, I think Colonel Birch may pull through that. 25, I think John Bronson may take that. I really do. Yeah. But Carla, let's revisit your opinion on that. I honestly still don't understand how you thought, like what your thinking was behind that. Like him not winning, like if you know the history of the seat, how you couldn't.
Well, see, and then remember, I look at it from a different perspective. So I need to know the areas.
Understand the perspective.
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt, I know historically he's done a lot. I just didn't feel that he represented himself well. I know the show was only one portion of everything that he's done. But if that's an indication of how he delivers, if I was in that constituency, he would have lost my vote because he just seems so all over the place. And that's only based on that. And I know that's narrow-minded, but that's how I feel.
Yeah, I probably, you can only do things based on your experience, though. I mean, it'd be kind of guessing. We are guessing with our predictions, but I think I don't look at the individual necessarily. You got to remember, when people vote, they'll vote for a rock in certain constituencies. So that's why I didn't understand your perspective, because the individual doesn't matter when it comes to certain constituencies. It's all
the party,
where that party is, like or dislike. And I think in that constituency, the times when the PLP have won in recent times is Dale Butler, who again is in the league of Thomas Christopher Famous when it comes to being on the doorstep. And then I just think, I don't know if Ms. Wade's been as active as a Dale Butler or Chris Famous, but she would have to win that seat. Even with Curtis Dickinson, the PLP are canvassing like professionals, so they got him in there knowing that turnout was going to be low and so on. So it'll be a challenge if the PLP can pull that off based on history and voters. And I think someone mentioned the boundaries the other day. It'll be. I would be shocked if the PLP pulled that off. But it was that seat, 36, Kathy Simmons. I see them losing that Michael Scott here. And I like Young Lister, but I just think that Dwayne Robinson will pull that off. So that 3 takes them down to 22 right there. But like I said, they may pick up other seats, like 30, 31, and 7. I just believe that the PLP will balance it out. I see Jamaica says PLP 22, OBA 11, FDM. I think that's probably along the lines of my thinking right there.
Okay, yeah.
I'm along that thinking. That's probably would be, if I had to make a prediction that I think would be strategically unbiased and no emotion attached, that would probably be it right there. And I think that would be good for Bermuda. Now, some people may say, 22 is still too many for the PLP. I think it actually equates to good, because now you have 3 seats taken away from the PLP and they're going to a new political party. And what people need to remember, just because a political party doesn't have the numbers doesn't mean that they can't put forward legislation. It might not get passed, but they can still work on behalf of the constituents and the people of the country.
I think what I'm excited about is the fact that FDM is a movement, and then we also have Social Justice Bermuda. So even after the dust settles, there's still going to be a lot of people taking part in this process of getting done what needs to be done, as opposed to relying on government. And I think that's going to be what we're going to see differently. And I think in the next election, it's going to be a whole different face, a whole different look.
Yeah.
Do you think that the FDM has shown people that maybe perhaps for next election there could be yet another party?
It depends what happens with the OBA, to be honest. I
Yeah.
think that depends, because I see people predicting that Canada won't be leader of the OBA come November 1st. That may be true. But what happens with the OBA after another resounding loss is going to determine what political entities exist in the next election. Again, tonight is going to be very telling. We have Bernard Joinville saying early bird just got home from voting. So we have one vote in. What constituency are you in, Bernard? We need to know. We need to know what constituency. We don't need to know who you voted for, by the way. But has anyone been out to vote? What are the polls looking like right now? Shari hasn't been yet, so
I haven't been yet, but the weather's great. So there's no rain, so you don't have to worry about getting your hair wet or anything like that. So it's a beautiful day.
That's important. I've been told that people don't go out to vote in the rain.
And we know Jamal ain't going, so even if he could. Sorry.
Don't wake him up. Don't wake him up.
Carla, give me your birthday, and it's May 74. Okay. After the show, because I need to just check something.
You're funny.
But look, it's going to be an interesting night. I want to see what people feel like. I want to ask the audience, what do you expect, and what do you think the results are going to be? What do you think the results of tonight's election are going to be? Let's see what the people think. Charles says, is the 12 or 13 OBA or FDM? That's a funny one. I don't think the FDM is going to get all those. That would be wishful thinking. I want to know, how do people feel? Another early voter. I voted this morning. It was very organized, well done, and thanks to wow, this is impressive. People have been out. I mean, 47 minutes in, and people have been out to vote. Early voters. Well, why do they tell people to vote early? What's the strategy behind it?
Don't wait in line. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
We have COVID, right? So there's got to be social distancing. You got to have your mask. So it's best to get up and out and do it. So
okay. This is one of those key constituencies. Mr. Bernard Joinville voted in, constituency 25. That's the one where I predict Brunson. So tonight we're going to go through the spreadsheet with you all. I'm going to give my political predictions. Teo, Nikisha, Carla, we'll give our political predictions, and we'll let you know. Look, Carla, nobody's expecting you to get more than 50% right. We're not. We don't do that to you.
I'm so horrible at this, but I think with a different vein, you are so political and I'm more logical, and I use the emotion part of it. So hey,
that's not to use emotion though. That's not
no, you know what I mean. Like I think, like I use the person part of it, but it's okay. I love this. I like being an oddball for politics. It's fine.
Well, I have never been so involved in Bermuda politics, so I am just so thankful to Jamal for setting the bar so high that I've had to study and read, feeling like I've been back to college.
well, you know what? I'm gonna give. Oh boy, he knows the only time I used to like him is Cup Match, but Dexter Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give a lot of credit to Dexter Smith this morning. Now, a lot of people know that when we started the show, Dexter Smith was the first guest on the show, and he's the editor of the World Gazette, and we disagree a lot, even with sports, because he's just an English football hater. But Dexter Smith gave me some advice one day, and we argued. But it was some of the best advice that he gave me since we started the show, and it's almost, we have to do the research, we have to get involved, even if we're not interested in it. And I'm not going to disclose our entire conversation, but it comes with credibility. I'm not interested in a lot of things we talk about, but I think that it's our responsibility that if we're going to have a platform that engages people, that we do have that the information. and that it's not just based on my opinion. I had all these facts typed out this morning to show about the BTA, and I'm just like, nope, we're not going to give it that much attention, right? And that was just done simply this morning, me just going on and, okay, I found this because I remembered stuff from it. So that I'm grateful that you guys take the time to do that, because it's not easy, and it is more than just coming on air and talking. Anybody can get on a mic and talk, but to actually do the work and know what you're talking about, that's where the hard part comes in. Well, not hard part, but the work. FDM Dijon says, taken 1 or 2. People are underestimating the voter. Yes. I don't think logical is the word, Carla. I agree. Question, CDH, which constituency you think is the hot spot to watch? I think 36, Dijon.
I think 35.
I think 36 is the hot one to watch, because Mark Bean is the leader of this organization. It's been a close seat. In 2012, it was a very close seat. I think 9 votes got Michael Scott in, and then it was extended again to Michael Scott in 2017. I think that is the one to watch, because literally, I don't think the PLP is going to win it, but it's one of the seats where anyone can, it's the only seat where anyone can win, like any party. That's the only seat that you can probably look at and say any of the 3 has a chance, depending on how people wake up feeling today. Yeah, it's I'm watching 36. Ina, things can pop up to stop voters from going later, including issues with IDs or lists. Yep, or being taken off the voter registration list too.
Well, I hope most people checked, because it has to be so disappointing to show up to the polling station and your name's not on that list. Or and I don't know if here they can tell you where your name is, because you may still be on a list, but you might be in a former constituency.
I know it happened when they redrew the boundaries, because I was in the same constituency as Jamal, and then they did the boundary, and then I was in another one, and I was so used to going to vote at one place, and I ended up having to go to somewhere else. So unless they've moved, I would like to think, and that's another advantage of going early. If there's any hiccups, you can hopefully get them sorted.
I know.
That's what Tina was saying. She said that. Lori asked, "What about constituency 24?" I don't think Lawrence Scott's going to have a problem, unless I missed something with the boundary changes. He won by probably almost double last time. Don't see that being an issue. I think he might have that wrapped up, Lori. Let's go take a break, and we'll be right back. We've had the daily play, and we will remind you about tonight. Alrighty?
Bermuda College has facilitated the success of thousands of Bermuda students since 1974. Today, we take great pride in providing quality instruction, innovative education, and unparalleled student support. Bermuda College is now seeking to extend its tradition of customized commitment by recruiting credentialed faculty who share our passion for delivering instruction that will inspire and challenge minds.
For as long as I can remember, I've had a passion for showing students how relevant mathematics is outside of the classroom. Teaching at Bermuda College has afforded me the opportunity to do just that. Using various forms of technology and ever-evolving pedagogy, I make the curriculum come alive for the students. And when they understand it, every moment of preparation was worth it.
To learn more, plan to attend one of the online information sessions. Times and webinar details are on the college website at college.bm.
All right, I'm just looking at some of my chat groups, and people are ripping apart this former CEO. I don't call him by his name. Ripping him apart, and
that comment.
Yeah, but this is the people we've tasked with making the lives of Bermudians that look and sound like us better. You can't have that. And what I forgot to mention is, you can't have people who have such disdain for locals trying to sell anything that's going to benefit them, right? On that note, don't forget, folks, don't forget, I'm going to say it again, tonight, 8 p.m., we're going to do a pre-show. We're just going to go live on our YouTube channel for the Daily Hour at 7, just to speak about how election day is going for about 30 to 45 minutes. But 8 p.m. we'll be going live on channel 82, as well as let's just share it again. Let's share it. As you can see, we'll be going live on the Daily Hours Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube pages, as well as the Full 100 Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pages. Thank you to Channel 82, North Shore Medical Aesthetics Center, One Communications, Bermuda College, and the Marketplace for supporting this and making sure that we're able to do this. This is probably the first time that we've had something where voters are able to engage live during an election night. So thank you to everyone who's gotten behind this. Yeah, let's do the daily play and then we'll wrap it up. What you got for us, Sherry?
I just have this country, which has 5.5 million people. It's about 130,000 square miles. It's 1.2 times smaller than California. It's mostly sparsely populated country in the EU. It's bordered by 3 other countries. One of those countries is Sweden.
I was going to say Switzerland.
Other country is Norway.
Finland.
You got it.
Yeah, I said that before Carla interrupted me with her wrong answers. Come on now. First, yes. Let me give myself some love. Well, anyway,
Us is a team.
Yes, us team. So I just want to say I had to start a new winning streak since Carla got yesterday's one wrong. So thank you to all of our supporters, Daily Play, and so on. Carla, what you got for inspiration before we wrap it up?
In politics, stupidity is not a handicap. Napoleon Bonaparte.
Why do I like that one so much?
Jamal's rubbing off on me, people. It's rubbing off on me.
It's root.
Oh, boy.
It's root.
I didn't say anything. Carla, what you got to say before we head up?
Just wanted to say, going back to the beginning of the show, deepest condolences to the family of Garina Khan. Now that she's been identified, as you know, her mom was one of our first interviewees for the Sons of Paradise. So imagine having to go through this twice. So deepest condolences.
Sure.
One of my favorite scenes is if it were easy, everybody would do it. So I'm actually saying thank you to everybody who's put their hat in the ring to make this a good election. And hopefully they inspire others to actually consider becoming part of a movement or part of a party.
Yeah, first off, let me go back to Carla's comment. And on behalf of everyone at Bermuda Communications, we definitely send condolences to the family. As Carla mentioned, we did have the mother on Sons of Paradise series. And so definitely never think you're going to have someone on more than once, or something like that would happen to someone who's been on and already experienced that. So condolences, really, sometimes words can't bring comfort, but we really do hope that our words do. From a political standpoint, as Shari just said, I'm very critical. I'm very tough on politicians. I know that it takes a lot of work. I know the amount of pain that families must go through when you put yourself out there. I just look at me. I mean, I speak about the premier. I speak about the opposition that they're in position. They're targets, right? They are in charge of the lives of the people. So their decisions will come under great scrutiny. And so it's not personal. As I stated on my Twitter yesterday, if I'm criticizing the acts of a minister or a politician, it's not personal. I don't have anything personal. It's everything that they're doing in their position as that elected official. And I just hope that when people sign up for this, yes, you are doing a service to your country, but know what comes with the territory: the good, the bad, and the critical. So thank you to everyone who's put the name forth, but remember what this job entails and remember who you work for. And regardless of what happens tonight, just know that I'm probably still going to be who I am. All right.
Malik.
Don't forget, folks, tonight, 8 p.m. live right on Channel 82 across our social media outlets. You will be getting live election night coverage. Thanks again to Nikisha Cameron, Teo Dill, Roger Denbrook, and the entire crew that will be doing this for you tonight. On that note, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back tonight to bring you live election coverage on our channels. Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House. All recorded episodes and highlights can be found at thedailyhour.com. Stay connected with us by following us at The Daily Hour on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.